Hey guys, it's Generalkidd here. How's everyone doing today? So, for today's video, we are going to be tackling the question of, do the auto turrets in Halo 3 work on vehicles? So, now that Halo 3 is on MCC PC, newsflash if you guys weren't aware, as you saw in my previous video yesterday, a lot of new stuff was added to Forge on MCC, including new vehicles, new equipment like the auto turret, and a bunch of other cool stuff. But now that we have new vehicles and the auto turret together in Forge, we can now easily test this this question out, to see if auto turrets actually work on vehicles or not. And what better vehicle to test with than the AA Wraith, for starters. So, right off the bat, my friend Photos Chaos here, he's already tossed a lot of auto turrets here. And it's getting to the point where, if you look closely, all the ones that are firing beams, they're fine. But there's a few that are also firing, but they don't have beams anymore. I believe that's because the effects are kind of overloading, and it can't render any more beams. But I'm pretty sure they're still firing all their beams, you just can't see the beams anymore. But as you can see, for the most part, it doesn't do any damage to the AA Wraith, until I turn all the way around. Once I turn it around and expose the that back generator part of the AA Wraith, really it'll affect the regular Wraith as well, just equally as much damage. But basically, when you expose the rear of the Wraith, it'll basically be totally vulnerable. Now, as for the Warthog, well, I mean, the Warthog's armor will shield you from the damage from the turrets, just like the AA Wraith does. But, however, the Warthog it's actually considered a light vehicle, and apparently those beams from those turrets, they have a lot of force to them. Like here with the Prowler, they can push me back completely, and there's like nothing I could do to get past the beams. And I was actually very surprised, because usually these auto turrets are only used in campaign, and we never really get to see them used against vehicles. Not to mention this many used against vehicles. So that's why, thanks to Forge on MCC PC, we can actually put this to the test under controlled conditions. And those beams really are powerful. And if your vehicle isn't heavily armored or well armored, or has a lot of exposed sections on it, like a Ghost, it will shred you apart very quickly. Not to mention blow you away if your vehicle is too light. They won't be able to push back a Wraith, but other vehicles that aren't like a heavy vehicle, they will push it back pretty quickly. And the lighter the vehicle, the more you get flung back. And the Banshee, for some reason, it's like paper thin. I thought it would have enough armor to like resist it and just maybe get pushed back or stop dead in its tracks or in its path. But no, surprisingly, the Banshee, it doesn't protect you at all. As soon as you get hit by the beams, you're pretty much dead. It just shreds you apart. And it's actually the same with the Hornet as well. But for the sake of time, I'm not showing every single vehicle. But the Hornet is also pretty much paper thin as far as armor goes. And these turrets will basically cut right through the Hornet and take you out. Now, as for the Scorpion tank, once again, this is a heavy vehicle, so it doesn't get like pushed away or blown away by the turrets. However, its armor is sufficient to protect you from turrets. But the turrets will still shred apart the different pieces of armor on the Scorpion tank, like on the treads. But even though the armor is shredded apart, it won't do any further damage. Now, if the hatch of the Scorpion tank is shot off or exposed, then if the turrets can get an angle on that, they can actually shoot you directly, and that will do damage and take you out eventually. But overall, the Scorpion does have sufficient armor to protect you. And because this is Halo 3 and not newer Halo games, if you guys remember in older Halo games, aside from Halo 1, vehicles actually have infinite health, as long as the driver is still alive. I actually noticed that like in multiplayer sometimes, you can kind of tell like who's like a newer Halo player or used to newer Halo games. They'll try to like shoot the vehicle, hoping to do like damage to the vehicle and blow you up, which is like a Halo Reach and newer thing, where you can actually kill the driver by destroying the vehicle. But it's the opposite in Halo 3. The vehicle is invincible as long as the driver's alive. So no matter how much you shoot a vehicle, no matter how much damage you do to it, if you don't damage the driver, then the vehicle will be perfectly fine. So that is why the auto turrets, they can keep shooting my vehicles forever like the Wraith, and they'll never do any damage to the Wraith or take me out, unless they get a direct hit on me or damage a part of the Wraith that is vulnerable. And that's the same with pretty much every vehicle. And the elephant, you know, because the driver's exposed, as you saw, it also affects the elephant driver. But the rest of the elephant is invincible and will not get destroyed or damage the driver. But yeah, so hopefully you guys did find this video to be interesting, and if you did enjoy it, make sure to leave a like. Leave your thoughts in the comments. If there's anything else for me to check out or look into, just let me know, and I'll definitely do my best to look into it when I get a chance. But aside from that, if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to my channel, and I will see you all next time. Bye guys!